Today we have a truly inspiring guest, Ron Gaudet. Ron is a seasoned economic and community development executive. He is the CEO of Magma, the Multicultural Association of the Greater Moncton Area. In our conversation with Ron today, we will explore Ron's journey, the challenges and the triumphs of leading such an amazing organization, and then the future of the Multicultural Association in the Greater Moncton area. Ron Gaudet, with over 17 years of experience as CEO, leading regional economic development agencies, has been a driving force in transforming communities and organizations. Welcome with me today, Ron Gaudet. So what's it like putting together the vision to lead Magma, especially when it comes to multiculturalism and diversity and inclusion?
Well, you're absolutely right. It is so multidisciplinary. There's not a one size fits all kind of approach to the work of settlement. What I've found is if we can pull the skill sets of building capacity, ensuring that we've got a good place for people. So that's why we've invested heavily in this building. We've tried to curate this building for individual client needs. So capacity building, leadership building, leaning into not just the day-to-day, but leaning into trying to think ahead of the curve and how do we build capacity to serve the needs of the clients of today, but clients that we know will be there tomorrow, maybe with very different challenges.
Right. Do you want to speak a bit more about those challenges here as leadership, leading the whole group here at Magma?
Leadership takes many forms. You know, I have the benefit of working with a group of leaders, and we're all focused on impact. It's not like some other occupations. We're dealing with people often at their most challenging point in their life. Coming to Canada, it's a new reality. Coming to Greater Moncton is a new reality. So we want to lean into providing the very best environment possible. We want them to come into a building that feels welcoming. We want to surround them with our services. We want to set them up for the best possible chance for successful integration, hopefully leading to retention, that they want to stay in the area and grow in the area with their families. So leadership takes on the dimension of how do you self-motivate, how do you motivate a team, and then how do you build partnerships in the community so that the mission that we have is beyond Magma. It really is a community-wide mission.
That's huge. I mean, the work that Magma is doing in the community is huge. Yeah. You spoke about some of the partnerships and some of the retention, the goals towards retention. Do you want to speak about what programs you are doing and contributing to ensure that retention of these newcomers happen here in New Brunswick?
Absolutely. So when we talk about services to clients, it really falls under 5 buckets, but it can be broken down into currently over 48 different programs. So we expect it to be over 50 soon. And they're trying to meet people where they're at and wrap them around with services that are intentional in terms of building human capacity, be that in child care, be that in language training, be that in RAP and settlement services, be that in the important community connection services. We have a suite of programs. We actually have staff embedded in the school systems helping students to become successfully integrated students. And what we often find is parents are often preoccupied with, how are my kids doing? Are they fitting in? Are they happy? Are they networking? Are they feeling part of a group? So there's so many aspects to our programming, but we really try to wrap around and provide that shoulder, that bench strength that the client may need.
That's amazing. I'm really inspired by the integration programs that you mentioned are running within the school system.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, are there any programs like that with local employers, for example, helping to, meet those newcomers who are coming in at that phase of their lives?
Yes. And thank you for that. We do have programming, and this is where we would really like to build our programming as well. But we have this pre-employment work, helping people to become employment ready, whether it's building resumes or doing mock interviews with people so that they have the confidence level when they get to the interview. And then working with the employers from certainly our AIP program, we are the coordinator of that in the region. So we work with a lot of companies going through the AIP process. But more importantly than that is companies are often wondering, how do we do this well? How do we, we're inviting people into our workforce, but we need to learn about cross-cultural training. So we're doing that two-way from the standpoint of the client, helping them to become acclimatized to the Canadian business reality, and then helping the Canadian business reality to understand what it's like to be working towards becoming a new Canadian, the challenges that come with that, how they can provide space for example, prayer, or they can provide food that would be inviting to different ethics. So we're really proud of the inroads that we're making with the business community, with our post-secondary academic community, certainly with our school boards, and more the community at large.
That is a lot of work that you're doing within the community, and it's a lot of diverse work. I'm wondering, are your partners and the companies that you work with, are they limited to the ones that you spoke about? For example, would there be private sector businesses or organizations who provide some of these programs? Would they be able to partner with Magma, or what's the structure like for collaborating?
Yeah, most definitely. Magma is, Magma is a vessel, but it takes a community, right? And it takes our multicultural organizations, it takes our churches, it takes our schools, it takes our hospital system, it takes our education system, our business community. So we are more and more doing two things. First, the outreach to that broader community to say, Magma wants to partner with you. And then what we're trying to do is open ourselves to being the willing partner as well. So again, it's a two-way street, and that's how you build community. Where I'm excited in the progress we made in the last few years, and how often companies and organizations are reaching out to Magma for a partnership. And that wasn't always the case. So really proud of that.
That is interesting. So, what are the trends you see in shaping the community, especially with the influx of new immigrants to Moncton?
Yeah. So we're in a particularly interesting region because over the last few years, Greater Moncton has been the fastest, on a per capita basis, the fastest growing community in Canada. Not just in the last year, but the fastest growing community if you compare it to the last 20 years. So we are fundamentally changing the community that we were, and I think in a very positive way. Naturally, people are going to relate to that or see that in different viewpoints. So there are challenges. Every time there's change, there's challenges. the vision that we have is, how do we move from being an accepting community of diversity to being a community that celebrates diversity? And if Magma can play a role in that, I think we'll have served the community well.
That's amazing. So I take it that that vision is going to have a role to play in your mission for over the next 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. Look, the reality is Magma has a long history in this region, close to 40 years. And we've done a pretty good job at the settlement side of things. And that a lot of that is tied to the federal and provincial funding that we have available to us. We do program-specific delivery. Where we need to stretch ourselves as an organization and as a community is, how do we intentionally build in the integration side of it, leading, of course, to retention. This region needs to grow its population. It needs to grow its workforce. But we need to be authentic about that, and we need to be able to meet people where they are, help them to become integrated, help them to become successful, help them to become happy, help them to become willing contributors to the overall economy in the region. And that is the focus, that is the mission, to do settlement integration, leading to retention in a best-in-class approach that I would like to think could be a model for the rest of Canada.
Absolutely. Wow, that is a lot of important work you have there and a huge vision that you have ahead of you. Well, I wish you all the best as you continue to lead this organization. And I want to say thank you so much for your time and sharing your perspective on leading Magma.
Thank you. Thank you. We're committed to the vision, and we see our community benefiting from the diversity. So we know we have a lot of work to do, but we're happy to do it.
It is refreshing to hear you say that you see a lot of the work that the immigrants are bringing into Mountain.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much once again for your time. What an insightful conversation today with Ron Gaudet. His passion and leadership at Magma continues to shape more inclusive and welcoming community for everyone. As we all heard today, the journey of integration is about more than just policies. It's about people, the support systems, and the shared commitment to diversity and inclusion. Well, we've come to the end of today's chat room. Thank you so much for joining us on the Mall chat room. And if you were inspired by this conversation, we encourage you to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful interviews with the Mall TV on YouTube. And if you'd like to learn more about the work that is being done at Magma, we encourage you to check on their website. Thank you, and until we meet again next time, stay informed and stay engaged.